I know what the creatives want because I speak to them a lot.
Do you think that brands should focus on direct-to-consumer if they're starting out?
Brands should always have both. B2B is very important.
Why is B2B very important?
Because it's
Do a lot of brands not know what their limits are?
not really. Some brands, they have an idea, but also they have this wishful thinking.
There are visionaries who predict the future, and there are those who quietly build it. Mohammed Aqra belongs to the latter. As the Chief Strategic Officer of the Arab Fashion Council, he has become one of the most influential figures shaping the evolution of fashion across the Middle East and beyond. Partnerships with industry giants like Meta, Microsoft, and Mattel have expanded the reach of the Middle East creative economy, while collaborations with legendary houses such as Jean Paul Gaultier, Moschino, Marchesa, and Carolina Herrera have elevated the Arab fashion narrative onto the international stage.
We want brands to return. We don't want brands to do a season and then disappear.
What do you think about the current landscape about Fashion Week?
The organizers always need to remember that it is a community. It is driven for the community and also by the community.
Is that the kiss of death if the shipments are delayed or they don't show up on time?
If you are one day late and you get an email, it's a full stop on the order.
I'm really happy to do this because we've spoken a number of times in friendly locations and, dinners, what have you. And I've just really enjoyed everything you've had to say about what the Fashion Council is doing for Dubai and the region in general and building awareness. So I wanted to get you on the podcast to talk more about it. But I want to take you all the way back with my first question to the beginning. What first drew you to this idea of business strategy and fashion, combining those two loves?
I come from a huge line of family members that have opened and started their own businesses. My father, of course. So watching him and watching how he worked day and night got me in a way where I was like, what do I want to do? Am I going to be like this? Am I not going to be like that? So originally I went to school for pharmacy.
Really?
Yes. And
super sexy.
I went to school for pharmacy in the beginning. While I was studying, graduated at 17 from high school, and I needed a job. I was home with my parents, and I'm like, I need a job. This cannot happen, and I don't want to go work for my dad. I didn't want that at all. Love you, Dad. I want to get that out there, please. So, just sitting at home applying, I applied to almost all the pharmacies to get a job as a pharmacy tech. No responses, and at some points being in the States, you start to wonder because you're applying and your name is Mohammed and Mohammed Aqra, just applying everywhere. No responses. And 3 months down the line, I was like, okay, let me just apply to whatever I can find. And I applied to a bank. Took a couple of weeks until I got my first interview. Went in, I felt super confident. That first, what had me was that suit and tie. Went in with the suit and tie, and I did really good. I felt I did good. It took me about a week. I got a call from the bank, and they were like, "You're hired." And then they sent me the contract, went and signed it, and then the next day the pharmacy called.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was already too late.
Yeah.
And then working in the bank is what really drew me to everything related to business. I was handling so many business accounts, so many clients. I started off as a teller, then I went into a vault teller, and then I started to do transactions with personal bankers and sending in new clients and learning about people who open new businesses and stuff like that. And that kind of just had me shift to business. And being a person that, come from, I am a first generation American in my family. Mm-hmm. So we have...
So no pressure.
I would tell you, it's just being someone that speaks two languages at home. And I've always had that international, how you call that? I always had that look, and speaking to my family from overseas, that connection, so I always wanted to know what was it like working overseas? Mm-hmm. What's the difference? How are the operations that is going on over there? So, yeah, that's what kind of got me to go into business and strategies and partnerships, and switched out from banking, went into telecommunications after.
Okay.
Where it was
So
all
still
about
not fashion. You're
still not fashion. Actually, telecommunication was sales.
okay.
It was a year long in sales. Fashion was actually after I lost weight. I was 117 kg.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Size 42 waist. It was like that growing up. I was
You were
really
always
big.
a little on the heavy side, or
I was always on the heavy side. Growing up, I was always on the heavy side. It was kind of like another life, I felt, And then one day, my grandmother, she came from overseas, and she sat down and she said, "Come over here. Let's see whose leg is bigger, mine or yours."
Oof. Oh, grandma.
She lifted her dress, and her leg was, she's a big lady. And my leg next to hers, we looked like we were twinning. That next day, I was running outside. I went for the longest run. It was the longest run probably because I had to stop every 10 seconds until I got to where I needed to be. But then after I lost the weight, I felt like this whole new wardrobe has been, like I was able to wear whatever I wanted to wear.
How old were you when this happened? Just so
I was. It was a process, but I started at 18.
Okay.
Kind of,
slowly moving in that direction. And then as you lost the weight, the access to fashion and having the options, let's say, started to open up for you.
I came to Dubai at 23. And I started with the Arab Fashion Council at 23.
You co-founded the Arab Fashion Council at
many
23.
initiatives with the Arab Fashion Council, which kept me as a co-founder.
Okay.
But the origination, it comes from Jacob and also our other co-founder, Delene.
And why did you feel it was important to have the Arab Fashion Council? What was that something that was missing in the industry? What was the spark that the three of you said, let's do this, this needs to happen?
There was a lot of gaps in our region when it comes to the industry, and I feel that us three, we handle it very well, and it's very well divided, in how we do things. One, in terms of collaborations, make sure that everyone gets their fair share. We see a talent, and we feel like it can do so well, with another company or with another brand, and we collaborated. We didn't really see many of that going on in this part of the world. Not like what I'm used to in the States. Yeah. In the States, I see so many amazing collabs with huge brands and young designers, and there's no one picking that up here. Also, I feel that for the Arab Fashion Council, we get a lot of requests from designers and brands and companies that need support, that need partnerships, that need collaborations, that need funding, that need so much, as the Arab Fashion Council, we offer scholarships, we offer sponsorships, we fund and collaborate many of the brands, and a lot of them are, they're in a better place than when they were 3 years ago. If we took on a case 3 years ago and you look at them today, they are selling in multiple department stores, multiple retail stores, all around the globe.
Because you're helping them, giving them structure, giving them guidance.
Yes, we are partnering with them. We have a term. We don't like to use really the word support, because at the end of the day, the Arab Fashion Council, we are still within our 10 years. And we're working with brands that also are 10 years, also are 12 years and 15 years and things like that.
So still relatively young, very young actually, within the grand scheme of things in the fashion industry in general.
Compared to the other councils, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're super young, but I'm super proud to say that we have been succeeding on the same levels as they're succeeding. And I'm super grateful to see that, when you're looking at something like a platform like the BFC or FHCM or the CFDA, who are decades ahead of us, but we're on the same level of doing things.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. We've seen London Fashion Week kind of nosedive and have to start from scratch or rebuild itself. There is, arguably New York Fashion Week, there doesn't seem to be a huge lot of excitement or dynamism surrounding that. There's definitely Paris, definitely Milan are still strong, but it feels like there is space for other fashion weeks to kind of step into that vacuum, as it were. What do you think about the current landscape about fashion weeks, and that everybody in every country in there and the one next to it seems to have a fashion week? Like, how do you stand out, and how do you feel the current landscape is in terms of all of these fashion weeks?
If you like this conversation, well, then you clearly have got good taste. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and share the love. Because honestly, who wouldn't want a front row seat to fashion's best stories?
I think that when it comes to organizing a fashion week, it's not something that happens in a day or in a week or anything like that. I think that the organizers always need to remember that it is a community. It is driven for the community and also by the community. So it takes everyone to come in and work on it together. That's the first thing. Second thing, we have to be very collaborative with not just the sponsors and the partners and the stakeholders, but also with the designers. We can't just put everyone in one area and say, okay, this is Fashion Week, this is where you're going to do all your shows. No, we have to look at the need and the want. And we have to pay attention to what the designers are showcasing and what the DNA is of the brands. And then for the organizers, we as well have to stay on pace with being creative, and that's out of the box experiences. That's offering more than just a platform to do runway, but to offer collaborations, opportunities for the designers to showcase their collections differently than anyone else. And pulling off a collection is not easy for the designer either. It takes time, resources, funding. The more the designer has, the better their collections would be. So we have to work on that way ahead of time. And we do. So, which is why I see that Dubai Fashion Week is doing so well. And every season it gets stronger and better, and we're getting better partnerships. And we work with our counterparts. When you see a Fashion Week decline globally, then you start to wonder, okay, what do you think they're doing wrong? Or is it the designers that are leaving, which some platforms had designers leave and they go into a different city, or they activate in other platforms in different ways. And some brands decide not to do fashion weeks anymore, and they just stand on their own. But even for us, when we see a brand not able to do a runway, we find other ways to collaborate with them and to keep them on calendar. Because at the end of the day, it shows that the brand is not skipping a season. The brand is being consistent. And for us, we're doing our part, which again, keeps us relevant in the media, in the community, and around the globe.
When we talk about what your job is, I would say it's a connector. It's making those connections between international organizations, and local brands. But can you talk to me more about the nitty gritty of what you do? What does your day-to-day look like? That moment when you go in for a job and you just have that one task, and then you get the job, you agree on it, and then suddenly multiple tasks and different departments and different positions and they are thrown in on you. That's how it is sometimes with me. But not because I'm forced, but because I put myself on everything. The one thing that I can talk about is the joy of what I do, which is the collaborations, which is getting on new partners for the platform, and then actually seeing how I can connect it to the brand or to a designer or to a creative. I know what the creatives want because I speak to them a lot and we work a lot, or in general, we just have normal conversations. So I think what makes it really exciting for me and gives me that energy and adrenaline to keep doing that is the look on the brand's face or the creative director's face when I say, hey, I have this opportunity. It's a great brand, it's a global one. And I sit in a very difficult position because the partner is also my partner, whether they're a sponsor or a collaborator. So for us as a council, we have to take care of our partners, but we also have to take care of the designer. So we're in the middle here. And so we have to make sure that when it comes to deliveries, everyone is, keeping aligned and up to pace, and the agreements, the contracts, everything from A to Z. So we always have to make sure that
we are not biased. We're very fair on both sides, and we have to keep on every single call. So it's not super easy, but the nitty gritty of it is that all of that from brand guidelines to finding out the designer's DNA, how does it align with the brand, the timelines of it. The brands that I collaborate with, they have their own design studios. So we have to always get the sketches out there, get it over to the design studio, collaborate with their local team, their global team, their international team, their universal team, their whatever
All the teams
that they have, their marcoms from the press, so it's a lot of it. It's a full-on timeline from hello to okay, what are we doing? Okay, if we're doing a collection, how many pieces? What kind? Is it ready to wear? Is it couture? Is it homeware? Is it in the mix? Is it between? Okay, how are we going to display it? Is it a runway? Is it a presentation? Is it a campaign? Is it commercials? And then the royalties. Because that is a whole nother story. And when it comes to royalties, I always do my best to take the designer's side, because if it's an emerging brand or if it's a brand that is, championing it in the region but not as big as the company, then we have to give some leeway for the designer. We want to make sure that it happens. All the way from A to Z, which is execution. So it's a lot of work. For me, it takes a minimum. I know some people would say they'll do it quicker, but I don't want to do it quicker. But it takes a minimum of 9 months to secure and to execute a great collaboration.
So give me an example of a great collaboration where
I'm going to repeat it, the past. Okay, I think a great collab was Jean-Louis Sabaji x Barbie.
Okay, say more. Why was that such a great collaboration?
Because I wanted to bring on Mattel as a collaboration, I think a year and a half before the introduction even started.
Really?
It was like an ongoing...
Was it hearing that the Barbie movie was coming up? What was the...
Actually, it was before the Barbie movie.
Really?
It was way before the Barbie movie. And we got in touch. We started talking. And I think I was with our designers relations director at that time. And I was like, okay, hey, Barbie collab. Which designer are we able to go with? What designers have you guys been on the lookout for? And then she was telling me about this designer, this creative director named Jean-Louis Sabaji. And I was like, okay, profile looks good. I think it can tick all Barbie's boxes. Let's have a call. So from understanding that one, it took, the collab itself was a bit over 9 months. We went into the introduction, having the designer understand Barbie. What is Barbie? It's not just a doll. The DNA, over 200 careers, from a lawyer to a doctor to a teacher to a nurse to everything. Okay, now that you know what Barbie is, what Barbie are you designing for? Is it the rock and roll one? Is it the doctor one? Who's going to be your Barbie muse? So it went all the way from that to the collection, to the royalties, to the execution, and also to the media campaign. For that one, we worked with Vogue. We did, I think it was maybe a 3 or 4 page editorial, print and online. So it was very nice. And it was nice how it was selected, who the muse was when it was done, and things like that. So it was very good.
With these collaborations that you're putting together, you're putting all that hard work in, you're 9 months, a year, the back and forth, those conversations. Where do things fall apart? Like, you do all of this hard work, not all of them are going to come to fruition. Where do you often see that there's a pain point, that friction that just never, you can't break through? Is it always in the same spot, or does it vary?
It's time.
What do you mean?
Time is the one. Sometimes you feel like there's not enough time. It's the friction never comes from the designer, and it never comes from the company. It's time in general. Like, the designer is always wanting to collaborate, and the companies always want to collaborate. And if one designer can't do it, there's always another one. Also, same, if one company doesn't want to, there's always another company out there. And I think that the tipping point is the time, because when you're dealing with a creative, they are creatives. They have this huge vision of what they want to bring to life. And I'm like, yeah, but we only have 9 months. You know, now we're at 4 weeks. Where are we? And you know, there was actually one mess up. One that was just dreadful. It was a tech collab that happened. The designer was amazing. The silhouette that was made was fabric infused with tech, and it burned on the runway. The wires cut.
No.
And that was the piece that was supposed to come out. Yeah, that was the one point that happened a few years ago. It was about, I think, almost 8 years ago.
Oh, heartbreaking.
It was sad because I had other tech companies attend the show because I wanted to secure other collaborations from that. So yeah, you live and you learn. I think for me, the mistake was I wasn't too involved in the design.
Okay.
And that was my point. And I made sure that every other collab after that, I am involved in everything. Literally, you give me a play-by-play. I want to know when you wake up, when you go to bed, before, what do you do, how many times you eat, how many times you're picking up the drawing board.
But wait. So if you're that intrinsically involved in each step of the way, like how many of these collabs are you actually able to execute, you know, in a given year? Because it sounds like it's so labor intensive. Or is there even an ability to scale on that? I mean, you are just one person.
I mean, the beauty about these collabs is that we see growth when we lock in a collab between a creative from the region and a global company. We want there to be more collabs. That same line as well. We don't want it just to be a one-off and then that's it.
So give me an example of a collab or a partner, international partner, that's really become something that's gone on for years and years and years, and you've seen that benefit.
There's one that's currently in the pipeline. But again, one of the Mattel. Mattel, we've done Barbie, and then we've done Hot Wheels after, which was a beautiful show. Now we have a collab with Uno coming out. So that is a good collab, and each one has taken its toll of 9 months with just one brand. But during Fashion Week, we have around, let's say, 45 events, and let's say 10 of them are designers. That's 10 collab opportunities that could actually take place. But my role for that has kind of changed. I try to not let designer collabs with big companies happen during Fashion Week, only so I don't disrupt the main collection.
Okay.
The spring, summer, or the fall, winter, because that should be just the designer.
So you're talking about collabs outside of season to kind of keep noise about a brand or
if it's worth it, we would want to do like an announcement during the season and to say that, hey, this is coming in, maybe during the next season, but as a dinner, as an after party, or as a preview, but just not to affect the main collection. Because the main collection should go to stores. It should go online. It should not have a timeline. You know, basically an expiration date, I would say, unless it's something that's going to turn vintage one day.
What, in terms of your work, what's the most frustrating aspect about it, would you say, other than the lack of time?
To be honest, there's a joy. I guess that there's probably even a joy and frustration, I would say.
Why? Because it's like trying to figure it out, or
it's the work is really addicting. If you like, a lot of my friends, they see me with my like laptop everywhere. Like, you don't let your laptop go. I said no. I'm always like turned on. You know,
what's addicting about it? What is it about
this industry is very competitive. We know that.
Yes.
You know, and luckily, I'm always the first in this region, you know, to either bring a collab or bring something on the table. And I like that, you know, it's what keeps me going, I would say. But I think that also bringing these collabs to the creatives, every company I deal with has a different fiscal calendar. Some of them are July to June. Some are January, December. Some are October, September. So there's always,
so that's a bit of a complication, frustration.
It's a bit of a complication because we can never align our fiscal calendars with some of the companies, you know, because it's a give or take, and we support each other a lot. So that's another thing why I'm always that's probably something frustrating. It's fiscal finance.
Why can't we?
Money. Bring on the money. Actually, also raising the bar, raising the prices. But no, I think that's probably just the alignment on some things, and also probably the most frustrating thing I would say is also the buying in the region.
Talk to me about the frustration with the buying, because you're working with so many independent designers who, don't have huge coffers of funds to be able to finance and take those risks. How is that? How are they facing, more and more difficult, let's say, buying practices of retailers that are out there?
I will tell you, it was the best thing that we have done was that we changed our the calendar for Dubai Fashion Week.
Yeah, you moved it before the fashion month, let's say.
We moved it actually just before New York Fashion Week. So we started the fashion month.
Right, exactly.
We started it. And then once that happened, it has become so much easier to communicate with the buyers, because we're at the tipping point of the budgets, for the designers. And
just to explain it, because if the later and later you show, the buyers have already spent.
Exactly. Now you can't stop the big brands, from changing their own showing dates, as they have their own previews that they give to the retailers or their retail partners. So I've been hearing some things that these type of previews have been happening, especially last season, where it happened like 3 weeks before the preseason even happened. But for us, pre is very important. It's when the retailers scout. And also when we changed our dates, a lot of retailers were open to come to Dubai and to come and see the designers, and because they have space to actually allocate a budget for this region. So that was kind of frustrating until we actually got it right. And then it just became so much easier to communicate. But the designers are even happier, because us changing our dates had them change their production time. In the beginning, they were speeding up. And when they finished their collections in time, after fashion was such a relief, because they were able to join showrooms outside. So designers who already have clients, which are their retail partners that are in London or in Paris, or they were able to actually go and see them.
And do that hand-holding and that networking that's so critical for a young designer.
Yeah.
But I do want to touch back on this aspect of a direct-to-consumer versus working with retailers and, creating a collection, and how certain retailers, won't pay for it up front, or will, they have a certain amount that they'll discount at a certain point. Can you talk to me about those difficulties for independent brands or young brands? Or do you think that brands should really focus on direct-to-consumer if they're starting out?
Brands should always have both. B2B is very important.
Why is B2B very important?
Because it's part of the growth of the brand. To be seen and to be recognized and to be taken serious. To be seen at Harrods, or to be seen at Selfridges, to be seen on Unas, Bloomingdale's, Harvey Nichols. It's super important to be there, because that's also more awareness. It gives them that outside marketing that they're also there, and it opens up other doors for other retailers to see them. Unas is very important. And when other retailers from outside in Europe or in the US see that the designer is here and it's selling in Unas and it's doing good, okay, this designer seems like it's doing good. Let's take a look at their lookbook. Let's take a look at their line sheet. Let's reach out. Let's see how we can have them on our platform. So from that point, but it's also the brand should also remember that it's very important for them to keep their relationships with their community. To build on their direct-to-consumer, to keep their clients happy. Always have your clients. Your clients, you need to also know that not the sales at retail destinations don't always come through. People come, they see you. People come, they see the collection. They look at the pieces, they try them on, and sometimes it doesn't work. When it comes to direct-to-consumer, it's completely different. The consumer's coming in, they're with the designer, they're feeling the pieces. They're more likely to buy with the designer than they are to buy with the retailer. So it's always going to be a designer decision. It's going to be easier for the designer to always fall back and to say, no, I just want to be D2C. And the reason for that is because of production capabilities. And when retailers are now moving into a net 90, it's a bit scary.
That's very scary.
3 months for the designer to get paid once the shipment is delivered. The designer is ordering the fabric. The designer is still
taking all the risk.
Taking all the risk. And then what happens after 3 months? You don't even know. What if the retailer goes bankrupt? Or what if the retailer stops all their orders? Well, the designer just did a huge order that it's supposed to go to this retailer. And who says that this retailer was the only retailer that made the order? What if 10 other retailers made an order?
Yep.
So it's also very important for due diligence to happen. It's very important for the designer to know, or the brand to know, when to say no. I was actually in Paris for the preseason, and I had a retailer reach out to me for a Persian brand.
Oh, wow.
And so for me, I was like, okay, they couldn't find this Persian brand in any showroom. I'm trying to find, and I can't find it. I was like, okay, so I just, from my own Instagram, I DM'd the brand directly. And the brand was like so thankful, whatever, but they stopped there. They already had enough orders for this season. So they were not going to fulfill another order. I was like, okay, nice. This brand knows when to stop.
Unpack that a little bit for me. When you say this brand knows when it's time to stop, just that they don't have any more bandwidth? Is it important?
Have bandwidth.
Yeah, it's important for them to know what their limits are.
Because they have
Do a lot of brands not know what their limits are?
Some brands, not really. Some brands, they have an idea, but also they have this wishful thinking. Like, I think we can pull it off. Let's create another 70 SKUs and deliver it by this time. Because when in a lot of the retailers want it in November.
Correct.
And for us as a platform, we have a no consignment policy. So we don't do consignment. It's sale. You sell. And we push for big orders. We don't want small orders. And for us, we look at the brands and we know already what the brands are capable of and what they can do. But some brands are like, no, if it's a good name, if it's a retail that we really want, we're gonna try to make it happen, even if I have to outsource.
Okay.
And then that kind of falls into two things. Quick learning.
Quick learning. That's very kind. Quick learning. Okay.
Quick learning, because you're going into a new experience and you start learning about other production capabilities outside the region that could benefit you in the future, which I've seen it with my own eyes, or you'll have to consider discussing with the retailer on a delayed shipment instead of November, to have it in December.
But is that the kiss of death when you're a brand, when you're a young brand? I always hear with buyers, if the shipments are delayed or they don't show up on time like that, it's a red flag for
some retailers, yes.
Yeah.
If you are 1 day late and you get an email, it's a full stop on the order.
Fair warning.
So relationships are very important with the buyer, with the retailer, and being consistent and delivering on time is very important, because you have to realize that not everything is on the retailer. The retailer should not baby the moment and say, hey, reminder, when are you sending us?
You're a grown up.
Not only that, some retailers have 400 brands on their website. And you have to imagine that some retailers are not big teams. You have your VP of merchandising, your head of buying, your buying director, your senior buyer, your buying manager, and then your buying executive. 7 people to manage 400 brands.
That's mental.
Okay, and emails back and forth. And not only that, they manage 400 brands, but then you have new brands reaching out to you, so your email is flooded, and then you got to attend events, and then you got to attend fashion week, and you got to attend the showrooms, and you got to do,
and you got to
travel, you got to do the buying, you got to get bloated on the airplane, you got to all of these things, so it's a lot that the buyer also has to deal with.
Sure.
And then they also have to have their own life. I get emails, and sometimes I'll email buyers or retailers, and they'll respond to me 7 p.m. at their time. And they're working, and at the same time, they want to run to the gym at night. They want to run to the gym in the morning. They're either a mom, they're a dad, they have a lot of things. So if as a retailer to be a buyer, praise to them, and everything that they do. But yeah, for that, it's the relationship building. But it's also tricky. Designers know that they want to be at a retail destination. They want to have B2B. They want to have direct to consumer as well. But the new rules that the retailers are implementing, and they're also going out to the media and they're talking about, I think what it was Saks Global that released the 90-day.
90-day.
It was them first, and then other retailers started to
Followed
follow.
suit, yeah.
So it's a domino, and that can, hurt brands. But then also it kind of puts us back at bubbles, to where you start only having your community and you start really dominating your community, by giving them more. So and then it kind of brings back that competition again for designers that are in a certain area. So yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot to deal with. I want to touch a little bit on, really briefly, the choice of the Arab Fashion Council to change the name from Arab Fashion Week to Dubai Fashion Week. There was a lot of discussion and it finally went through. Happy? What was the thinking behind it and right decision?
The one thing that I can say, which I would say so proudly, is that Dubai Fashion Week is a great platform. We're really successful. The transition happened. Arab Fashion Week has, we as a council, we've always been organizing AFW. And it was about time that we transitioned into DFW, where there's Paris, where there's Milan, where there's London, there's Dubai.
Yeah.
And Dubai is growing. It's amazing. It's especially the fashion scene is huge, and the creatives that are moving here as well.
What about Dubai Fashion Week? What's the council? What are the teams that are saying yes to different brands? What are they looking for somebody to come and show at Dubai Fashion Week? What are the criteria?
I tell you, the most simple criteria is that for a brand to showcase on the runway, they have to be in business no less than 3 years. That's the first part. The designers relations team, they usually have these ongoing conversations with brands. They check their stockists, where are they selling, their media profiles is very important. What I can say is that all of this is not to judge or put pressure on a brand. But we want to make sure that when the brand is coming to showcase, it takes a lot to do a runway. It takes a lot to produce a collection. We want to make sure that the brand can sustain not just this season, but the next season as well. We want brands to return. We don't want brands to do a season and then disappear, which we do see a lot in some platforms.
Yeah.
They do a season, they disappear, or they do something, they get awarded, and then
you never hear from them again.
You don't hear from them again. And that's not what we want to see. So the main criteria is how long you've been in business, your media portfolio, your stockists, what are your future plans, where do you see this brand in so-and-so, are you joining showrooms, etc. What's your online looking like, how many consumers. We go deep. I've seen the application to where it wants to know your turnover as well. What are you making this year? What did you make last year?
Okay. So you guys aren't messing around.
No, because we want to make sure that we make the right move in taking a brand on board. We cannot have not consistent brands, because then the platform looks like it's always just taking new brands.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
Yeah.
And then you've had this kind of new strategy where you're having days within the Fashion Week that are dedicated to designers from a certain part of the world. So like there's the Italian Designer Day. Talk to me about that strategy and where did that come up? How did that come about?
Well, I can say from openly, there are many organizations around the world, and a lot of them are also in Dubai or in the UAE, to where they have mandates to promote creatives from their countries. And Dubai Fashion Week is the platform for that. So with the Italian Trade Agency, they are promoting and designers from their territory, the country, and they're coming to showcase this spring, summer We've done with them before. It was successful. It was a showroom. And we've actually wanted the designers to be on runway. So we've asked them, hey, for the next time, let's do a runway. It's going to be amazing. It's much more press, much more coverage. We actually can see the fabric and the designs on live mannequins. And so that's what's happening. And hopefully we're going to start doing a lot more of this, but also with different country partners.
What is appealing about Dubai for creatives coming from somewhere else? Like, why come to Dubai as opposed to Paris to be a fashion designer, or to Milan to be a fashion designer? What does Dubai offer regional and international creatives?
Dubai offers everything. Dubai offers everything. I mean, it's I can say, even when I was in the States, where'd you come from? Oh, I came from Dubai. Are you staying there? Yes. What's it like? It's a dream. It's the skyscrapers, the cars, the everything. I think the designers or the creatives and the international community coming to Dubai is giving them a different way to be inspired, how to set ground, and how to resonate with a different community that they don't have overseas. And the reason for that is because even with the Middle Easterns that are overseas, they've kind of adapted to be European or to be westernized and things like that when it comes to the looks and the food. And still they keep their culture. But as you probably have seen it, it's also like that here, where people from the West, or from Europe or even from Asia, they are coming into the region and they are slowly adapting and stuff, which takes time. I can say that the business-minded creatives that come here, they love the security. They love the buildings. We've had a lot of designers that come and they want to create collections inspired by Zaha Hadid, for example, or architectural firms, and things like that. Real estate. Look at real estate here. You have Alisab, you have Gucci coming, you have so many. You have Jacob & Co. being built and stuff like that. So this is also giving that appeal. Like, if I come here, can I work hard enough to get a building in my name?
Talk to me about the impact of, the Middle East. It's got the money to spend on fashion. It has influence in general. Are we seeing the audience having an appetite to purchase regional designers, or is it still about the European designers, the logos of the big brands? How are you seeing a shift in taste, or a shift in purchasing?
There is always an appetite for regional brands, and I see it on a day, especially not just in fashion, but in jewelry as well. And especially during Fashion Week, even for per designer show, everyone's coming in the designer that they're coming to watch, which is something that we see when you go to Milan and you attend Dolce or you attend Gucci, or even in Paris, they're wearing the designer. It's happening. We're the same. There's no difference about it. You will always have the crowd that go and they lavishly spend. In this region, depending where in the region, but you'll always have people who like to spend and they want to buy expensive things. And there are different types of designers in this region as well that are from the region, that are high price points, and you have the low price points one, and they have their own communities that they cater to. But you will not, again, you will always have those that are shopping luxury, super luxury, and that's when you see all the logos and the placements and the stuff like that. And then you have the quiet luxury ones. Those, I feel like, are the ones that are, yes, spending big, but also take their time to also spend on what they find within the region. Like those that spend on the row are more open to go ahead and spend on designers that they find within Dubai Design District, for example. There always is an appetite. I think it's up to the creative to sell that story and to be more out there.
We've been seeing a lot of regional designers, breaking big in Paris. I think I recently was looking at the percentage of Middle Eastern designers on the couture calendar was almost as much as French designers in terms of numbers. How are you seeing that the rest of the world is receiving the Middle Eastern fashion? Is it growing? Is there more awareness? I feel like there's been a shift. Personally, I've seen it, but I'm curious to know what you're seeing in terms of that.
We are, and I think the most important part of that from my own experience is the amount of retailers that are coming here and shopping the regional designers, the buyers that are coming here from the US, from Europe, from China, from all over. They're making space on their platform for regional designers. That means that there's an appetite, new blood. They are spending marketing, but from their marketing budgets to introduce these new designers to their territories. So yes, there is, and I believe that it's being taken well. I'm really happy. And also because we are presenting the right designers. And I'm really happy for that. We're presenting designers that can produce, that can supply, that I guess the way I can, within our buyers relations team, we have, let's say around like 60 retailers coming to Fashion Week. We do give them the full list of the brands, but we also pre-select based on retailer.
Really? So you target the retailer to you, like we can see what their style of buying is, so we think these are the brands that are most adapted to you.
And then the retailers are all grateful for it. They love it. They're really happy from the pre-selection, but they also go through the list because we cannot tell if the retailer has a new direction. Some retailers, you've seen them in the past, they were women's wear, but they were very like work woman, boss woman, a bit masculine side, things like that. And then you send them the list of design and they're like, but we're going a bit more feminine this time, at least for this spring, summer. We're looking for something more, again, the word feminine, dressy, the scenario of it and stuff. So then we have to send them the full list and then they go in and they select which designers they want to preview. So it's pretty organized from that side. I'm really happy for it because it helps us know what the next direction is for that retailer and if we're going to be bringing them back the next season.
On the other side, on the designer side, because you're, again, very hands-on and you're talking directly with many of the designers, what is the biggest mistake that you see them repeating over and over again that you just like hitting your head against a wall and you're like, why is this still going on?
No, I'm never really hitting my head against the wall.
Glad to hear it.
Never, only because designers and creatives, it's not me who see it as a mistake. It's the designers who catch their own mistakes. Because even if it looks so perfect to you, if the designer sees something that they don't like, even if it took them hours and days to create, they will trash the piece and they'll start over. So it's the creatives who are really bouncing their heads, because they are perfectionists. They want to make sure that everything is perfect because it's their name at the end of the day. For us, I don't see any type of, hitting head moments or any clashing moments that we have because we don't let ourselves get that far. But if there were to be a moment that we were going to clash, it's always at the time of execution, when it's, time for the shows, the time. Because we handle everything from guest management to PR and media and things like that. So whether we're looking for assets from the brand, send us your assets, send us your pictures, send us your stuff, send us your press release. No, we want it Arabized, and it's the time, like 3 days, 4 days it takes to receive something. That's the only thing we would clash about. But the designers, again, they are too hard on themselves. When it comes to pieces that we look and we say, I love it, it looks amazing, it's so good. No, I don't like it, I'm not showing it. What are you talking about? But, we're not so far away. You have these buyers coming in. I don't like it, I'm going to redo. They're the ones who are hitting themselves. Really?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you're a 360 operation there. What is there an area that you want to explore more deeply, or is there something that
yes.
Okay.
So deeply. I want to get into architecture. I want designers. I want to collaborate designers with real estate. I have to get in it. I'm so happy that I have automobile collabs with some brands who are going to be designing cars.
Oh, wow.
And it's not going to be a wrapping the car, with the design. It's a full-fledged design. So this is something that I can finally put off my list. But other than that, I want to get into real estate. I wanna collaborate on this front. I want to collaborate in music.
Say more about that. In what way?
For this region, I feel like we're not really there yet when it comes to brands being in too much with artists. You know, whether it's creating, you always see Taylor Swift and Roberto Cavalli.
Right.
Always dressing Taylor Swift. We don't have that too much from this region. I want to see that. These are some things that I want to get into. I don't know what the types of collabs this will bring us to with the brands, more on the PR and marketing side. But this is something that we also want to get into.
All right. Well, that's really interesting. So are you talking about
movies?
And movies.
And movies. You know, I almost had a costume designer collaborate with one of our regional designers. It was one of the most well-known costume designers that does a lot of movies and TV shows. It almost happened, but hopefully the next time. I want to start doing these type of things. I think it's super cool. I think it's possible, and I think that the community and the industries are ready. I've never seen them more ready. The amount of appetite there is for collaborations with big companies that are local and global that are here, they are open to a lot of collabs, and it's so fun and great to see that. So I do see one of these type of collabs happening soon.
Well, listen, I want to ask you my 5 generic fashion questions that I ask everyone.
Cool.
So the first question is, what is your favorite piece that you own, the thing that you cherish above all others?
Favorite pieces from regional designers that I have, I think it's this one. I've been wearing it everywhere and anytime whenever I want luck, and it came as a gift from the George Hobeika Maison, and I wear it everywhere, to be honest with you. But this is something I cherish, and I think nowadays it's the memories that pop up on your phone of images of the past, of images from 7 years ago and things like that. I always spend like a good 20 minutes.
So it's actually the images, that's what you cherish the most, the memories.
The memories. I don't want to say image like that,
yeah.
You know? But it's the memories of your family, of your loved ones, of your friends and things like that. I think that's something that I start to cherish a lot.
We were talking about when you were working in fashion, we're working at a high level where, you know, it's expensive. And I'm wondering for you, what is that item of clothing that piece that you think someone who maybe doesn't have all the money in the world would save up to buy a designer version of this? What for you is that piece? Shoes?
Yeah, but it has to be like a specific designer shoe. Like it has to be either big boots or it's going to be something color and avant-garde and things, because I'm a type of person that I like to wear all black most of the time. So the only thing that will stand out
clearly.
is today was a bit different. Okay. I'm coming to fashion your seatbelt. So it's a bit different, but no, like a lot of times I'm always in black. So the shoes is what stands out the most. And it has to be not black. It has to be something colorful and big and all out there. So I would spend a good amount on shoes.
Yeah.
Not bags, not really too much on accessories and stuff, but gym clothes.
Really?
I spent a lot on gym clothes. I spent like my gym shoes. I brought the Balenciaga X Under Armour, and those are just for the gym.
Okay.
It was just for the gym. I don't wear it anywhere else but the gym. So I like to feel good in the gym.
What trend will you never follow?
I think, to be honest, I will always keep on the baggy trend. I love baggy clothes. The trend that I won't follow, probably hair trends.
Hair trends?
Yeah, I'd like to stay.
But I saw you blonde not too far long ago.
Platinum is the only thing, but like just probably different haircuts and, you know, probably the mustache type of thing and stuff like that is what I always try to keep much of myself. That's the only thing. When it comes to fashion, okay, if we're going to be talking about fashion, the cuts and stuff like that for men is not something that I would kind of like go into or wear.
You're talking about like open, like transparent.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that I would ever follow. I mean, it's good to whoever who wants it, but that's not something that I would.
That's not your thing.
Not my thing at all. So that's the only thing from fashion.
Who is your favorite designer, living or dead?
Wow. Living or dead? Jessica, you always ask the great questions. I have so many great ones.
Well, who comes up in your mind right away?
Depending on what kind of designer you're looking for.
Babe, this is your favorite.
Okay. I like Ambush.
Ambush.
Yeah, when it comes to shoes, I like Ambush. I like Louboutin, but when it comes to bags and shoes, yes, I have the shark shoes from them. It's amazing. When it comes to denim, Miskipa.
Miskipa.
I think I'm the first one to go on the door and be like, these are my denims. When it comes to florals and stuff, always emergency room. Emergency room is amazing. Zaid Farouki, when I want to go back to roots and culture, I always buy things from Zaid because in that moment I feel like, okay, Jordanian stuff I want something Palestinian, I want something like that, Zaid, and stuff. So those...
But you're very intentional about wearing regional designers.
Yes. So, yes, also Maison du Mac. You have to know that when regional designers, it's either going to be accessories or the menswear is very slim in the region. So for me, when it comes to menswear, it's going to be like Maison du Mac, Emergency Room, Zaid Farouki, Mrs. Kipa. Also Jad Hubayka does amazing. He's amazing. He's on a different level. He's really good. But like that. So all living.
All living.
But I think everyone I mentioned was living.
Living, yeah.
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah. So lots of potential to keep on buying from all of them.
Yes, of course. Always.
And then my last question for you is, what do you love most about fashion?
Yeah, it's going to be very cliche or something if I just say adventure. What I love the most about fashion is the excitement of it all. After the last day, when it's over, literally after the last day is when we can call everyone and it's like, how was it?
So what you love most about fashion is the
last
debrief,
day of the season.
The debrief after the shows are over.
Yes, because everyone has something to say, and everyone has something to say about someone else. But more so, it's what they want to say about themselves. And I think that's like a learning curve because I have to listen to that part because I'm like, okay, how do we not do that next season, or how do we do something different next season? How do we work from now for next season? Because like I said, next season is 3 months away. So how are we gonna navigate? We have to do it now.
Once again, time is the issue.
Jessica, you have to realize that 5 days from now is the start of Dubai Fashion Week. So I bring my laptop here. So I took a sponsor call while I was waiting here. And now when I go back, it's gonna be with the team, late night working, things like that. So it's never ending.
And it sounds like you love it.
I do love it. I love it, yeah. It's fun. What I do is really fun. And I'm so grateful to be in the position that I'm in today. I want everyone to know that.
Thank you so much for taking the time right before Fashion Week. This is amazing. I really appreciate it.
I'm happy and I'm going to be seeing you at Fashion Week.
Absolutely.
Okay, don't cut that part out.